What's going on, drivers? Welcome to another run here on American Truck Simulator. Today, got a regular Wabash 53 foot with chrome wheels on it. It's got the side skirts on it as well. Hauling some tires here. Going to be going to El Paso, Texas. Bring that up here. 32,500. Yep, there's El Paso to Bittman, or Bittman, or yeah, Bittman. Good enough. Anyway. Nothing real special here with the trailer. It does look nice though with the chrome rims on there. That Wabash pack. And yeah, there's a couple different choices. It'd be nice if there was a company logo on it, but it didn't take for this run for some reason. So, hey, plain white trailer, nothing wrong with that. See plenty of those on the road. So, looks like I got 13 hours until my next rest stop. 25 hours is the whole trip. Now, the last time I have gone this way, some of you might have seen on a live stream a couple weeks ago, I got out here to I-10 and I fell through the world. I think it was right around this area here. So hopefully that is not going to be an issue this time. Obviously, if it is, well, this episode probably isn't going to air. But if not, then all is well. So this will be my first test here. It was very difficult for me to find a run going out this way. I had a couple of Boise, one to Portland, but nothing really coming up for me to go out east. Really annoying. So, finally found one. El Paso is what it's going to be. So, it's time to stop talking, and start driving. And get this all set up. There we go. We're good to go on the head tracker. Get the headlights on. We're gonna have to turn them on here soon anyway. Still no changes here to the Peterbilt since the last episode. Still got the lights sitting up on top of the cab, and not gonna run the tandem. Or not the tandem, I'm sorry, the drop axle. Gonna make my run here on I-10. Hopefully, there's not going to be an issue. My partners here at Evil PC have already gone east. In fact, Full Tilt just put up a episode with his drop axle where he actually used it when he was hauling some mining equipment, a big cat dump truck, a mining truck, if you will. So, and apparently he had no issues either. So, and that's the thing though, I didn't have issues on every road I went down. It was only a couple here and there. So, unfortunately, I was the poor fool that happened to find them. My luck, right? So, that doesn't mean they don't exist. It could also mean that he was better at sorting out his mods list than I was. When it comes to map mods like that though, sorting them out is key. They're picky little bitches when it comes to that kind of stuff. They want a certain way, and that's going to be it. And if they don't get it, then they're going to throw a temper tantrum, and the end result is what happened. I don't believe, in fact, you can actually see over there one of my other trailer mods. It's a 20-foot tanker container. I have not been able to haul one of those yet. They don't come up very often for me in the mods, in the trailer listing. Oop, wrong one. Now, a little bit of news outside of trucking here. And I know I need to get back to some trucking news, and I'll get some to you guys here soon. I know you guys like hearing about why things happen the way they do, or, what's going on, and things like that. But the thing that I'd like to discuss... Come on, dude. Get on that loud pedal. Is something that I take part in myself. And I know it has helped thousands of people out there. And that's vaping. Or e-cigarettes. Now, I don't use the e-cigarettes that you might find in a store somewhere, one of those little glass displays where it looks like a oversized cigarette. I don't use those. I use actual box mods with tanks and juice that I have to refill. And it's actually helped me with some serious effort on my part. You know, it didn't happen overnight. But since July of last year, I have probably had less than half a pack of cigarettes. I had a couple in September, right after the day after I got married. And then maybe a couple more after that. And then so far this year, I've only had one. And, you know, I keep on telling myself it tastes like crap, they taste like crap. And sure as shit, they do taste like crap, and I end up smoking it anyway. And then I get the whole effect of being lightheaded and whatnot, as if, you know, it was my first cigarette ever. And I regret it, of course. And I go right back to vaping. That's just me being weak. But up until, you know, now or lately, and that happened last week actually, I've been pretty damn good with it, and it's actually helped me a lot. I don't spend as much money. I do feel better. I breathe better, and of course it smells better as well, depending on the flavor that you pick. Unfortunately, though, what has happened is the FDA has decided to come out and basically make an attempt to drive out the vape industry, period. The long-standing battle between the government and the vape industry is the government wants to treat it like smoking. And the vape industry fights back, saying, no, it's not really smoking, you can't consider us tobacco because we're not a tobacco product. Even though it does, juices can and do contain, not all of them do, you can get it in zero, but juices do contain nicotine. But nicotine is not solely derived from the tobacco leaf. It can be obtained from other products as well as synthetically made. So saying it's a tobacco product really isn't true anymore, when you can produce the same substance without ever touching a tobacco leaf. But the government then turns around and says, okay, well, since we can't tax you as we would cigarettes, since we can't control you like that, and that's the main issue here, is they want to be able to classify it as a tobacco product, and they want to get their money off of it. And up until lately, the federal government has not been able to get that foothold. They have not been able to do that. But with the FDA ruling, now they will be able to. What the FDA ruling does here is classify nicotine juice and any other item that is used in vaping or e-cigarettes. So it can be the battery, the tank, the coils, the wire inside the coils, the cotton that goes inside the coils, the batteries, or the battery cells themselves. Some of them are sealed and some of them are not. You can change the batteries out. Even tools like the mini screwdriver you might use for rebuildable kits. Those can all be considered part of tobacco products. And this is in an effort to gain the ability to tax it, since they classify it now as a tobacco product, they can now tax it as such. Now, of course, they want to sit there, oh, think of the children, you know, poison hotline has skyrocketed in phone call numbers, and I believe I saw a blog post from a year ago or 2 years ago that said in 2010, the skyrocket number that they were trying to use was like 5 calls over a whole year of kids getting into, you know, the adults' nicotine juice. Who's to say that hasn't changed? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I mean, those who pay attention to the government and what goes on, I think many can agree they do have a tendency to over-exaggerate things to fit their agenda. And government has been known to do that for many, many years, regardless of who's in office or who's controlling Congress. So it's just the way it's been. It's the way it's always going to be, because what better way to get support for something by tugging at the heartstrings of the public? So, of course, think of the children. Think of the children that we're saving here. Teens and middle schoolers, you know, oh my God, there's a huge percentage of them using these. Well, you know, that's the parents' frickin' fault. Granted, there was no law saying, except for maybe cities, I know Chicago has a law banning the sale to minors, which is all fine and dandy. No one is going to argue with that. I have yet to see anyone say that's stupid. In fact, many stores, as well as online sites, you're a dumbass. Many stores, as well as online sites, already prohibit the sale to minors. Now, of course, people, you know, self-policing, you know, whatever, you know, they're just saying that, or, you know, that's not real. But the stores I've been to have been real. Some of them won't even allow a child to come in there. So, you know, it does happen. But the main thing is the gas stations that will sell the cigarettes to kids. I have yet to see that myself. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but I have yet to personally see or hear of anyone, you know, a 16-year-old being able to go in and buy a cherry-flavored e-cigarette. But, you know, whatever. I'm all for that. It doesn't bother me, and that doesn't affect me, you know, that's fine. What does bother me, though, is the overreach that the FDA has done here by classifying even screws and screwdrivers as tobacco products. And on the FDA site itself, the warning labels that must be put on the juice bottles now, if it does contain nicotine, well, of course, there has to be a label. This product contains nicotine that has, you know, that's addictive or whatever. And if it is zero nicotine, the warning label that must go on there is this product contains items made from tobacco or something of that sort. Even though nothing in that bottle and inside that juice, since it is zero nicotine, no nicotine has been added, period. Nothing in that bottle has anything to do with tobacco. It has to be labeled saying it's made with tobacco products. I really don't understand that at all. But that goes along the lines of classifying it as a tobacco product allows the government to tax it. It's all about the money. And speaking of money, right now early estimates have income for licensing or getting FDA approval at $6 trillion over the next 3 years. And it's going to be $6 trillion because I've seen different numbers. Wall Street Journal said $2 to $10 million. I've seen ABC, CNN, and Time all say it'll cost $1 million at least. But what happens is every retailer out there that sells or makes these products, that makes juice, is going to have that juice sent in and verified by the FDA to be safe. They're also going to have to make sure they're being produced in a clean room, which their standards are pretty damn high. I mean, we're talking pharmaceutical standards almost, which I would say the bulk of them do. They do have, it's not like they're doing it in their kitchen over the kitchen sink while they're cooking a chicken dinner or something. There's a couple of shops I have seen that make their own juice, although it is not a sealed room where everyone wears suits and gloves and masks and everything. It's a clean area. They don't eat lunch there while they're blending juices or anything. So the bulk of these places are like that because they do care about the industry, and they had hoped that the government would notice this, and although keep a close eye, stay off their back. Well, no, they basically said screw you. So now every location, every company that makes their own juice has to meet the FDA standards when it comes to production, sterilization, and so on, which many companies are not going to be able to afford. But even if they can't afford that, they're not going to be able to afford the fees required to put their juice through the testing and verification process that the FDA has, which can start at $1 million and go up from there. Now, okay, $1 million per bottle, or say for me, I smoke Bloodbath from Mount Baker Vapor. The problem is that Bloodbath, every version of it, from my understanding, is going to have to be tested. So every nicotine level that is offered usually means it's going to be a different SKU or barcode, serial number, or model number, product number, I'm sorry. So every version of that brand, of that one type of juice, Bloodbath, is going to have to be verified by the FDA. So if they offer 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 24, and 32 milligram nicotine levels, every nicotine level type of juice is going to have to be tested. If they have different mixtures, because in vape juice you can do 50-50 between PG and VG, vegetable glycol and propylene glycol, or I believe it is. You can do 70-30, 80-20, or max VG for the most vapor production. And every single one of those versions, as well as every single one of the nicotine levels, is going to have to be verified. That is the way it has been explained to me. Every item that has an SKU or product number is going to have to be verified, sent in and verified by the FDA. So, yeah, that adds up real freaking quick. At $1 million a pop. So, what is being predicted right now is that multiple companies are going to be going out of business. And the ones that don't go out of business are going to be downsizing. Who's not going to go out of business? Big Tobacco. They saw the market was blowing up, estimated $3.5 billion last year in revenue by these local and mid-size vapor companies. So, products like Marlboro and so on have come out with their own. One of the companies bought the blue E-Cigs that have been out for years. They bought that. Marlboro has Vuse, V-U-S-E, which my brother-in-law tried, and he hated it. I've never tried it. I'm not interested in using E-Cigs. I'm happy with my tanks. I'm happy with my juice. I'm happy with my box mods. I don't need to do anything else. Of course, they're going to have the money to go ahead and put down $1 million for these products and get everything verified. And they got deep pockets. Someone like Mount Baker Vapor, not so much. So it's really unfortunate, and we're going to see a dramatic downsize in the industry, both company-wise as well as product-wise. Companies are not going to, even if they can afford it, they're going to cut back on what they offer and how much they offer. Instead of having 20 different flavors, now maybe they're only going to have 3 with 2 nicotine level choices and 1 mixture, 80-20 or 70-30 or 50-50. Because every time they come out with something, that's it. Right now, as of August, there's going to be a freeze on any new products. Anything after August 16th, I believe. No more new products can be introduced into the market by the vape industry. And then they have 2 years to submit their information and get their product verified. And they mention it's 3 years, so they're allowing a 1-year grace period because 1, they're expecting a rush of people, but 2, it's not something that happens within a week. It is a very lengthy process. It takes quite a bit of time. So they're allowing for 3 years. If you don't have your information submitted, and even if it isn't approved yet, it could be in the pipeline waiting for approval. Once that 3-year period is up, you cannot sell it anymore. You must immediately stop all sales of the products that have not been okayed by the FDA. So, really unfortunate that this has happened, and I'm very worried about what's going to happen with the market. Of course, I've already had people, well, just quit vaping. And, it's unfortunate. I'm going to have to quit something I enjoy, not because of taxes that will soon be placed on it, but because the amount of choices I have, as well as what I'm using right now, is banned. So in 3 years, if I'm still using the same tank, the same box mods and whatnot, and legally I'm breaking the law because I'm still using those and they were not approved by the FDA? I mean, am I going to get in trouble if, it's pretty safe to say the price of juice is about to go through the freaking roof. Normally a 30 ml bottle costs, I think it's $20. If you go to a vape store, you can get them from cheaper than that sometimes. Sometimes it's, $10, $15. For me at Mount Baker, a 30 ml bottle of Bloodbath sets me back $11. 4 bottles for 120 ml after shipping is usually $48 after taxes and shipping. The other brand I vape with is Vape Juice, Joose, and they're out of Michigan. And Moonfruit is my favorite. I'm pretty much hooked on that one. And that one I can get 120 mils for $23.99, I think it is. So basically $24 for 120 mils. So I vape a lot of that. And prices like that, if the product still remains, those prices are going to be a thing of the past. No more am I going to be able to get 120 mils of that for $24. I think I will be lucky if I can get it for double that. So major changes are coming, and of course, the government as well as the FDA. Oh, this is a landmark decision that will save lives and protect people from harm and danger, And of course they can't say what harm and danger there is, because they don't even know. They haven't bothered to do their homework. They haven't bothered to do any inspections on anything, any research or nothing. The research that is out there gets debunked within a week. Gets shown, proven that it's... Oh, piss off. Speeding, whatever. It gets proven to be false or misleading. One person would say, well, you'll get, pneumonia. Well, why? Well, because some woman down in Florida got it. Oh, yeah, she was vaping on E-Cigs and she died. Okay, I found the article. She had been puffing on it, but that was not the cause of death. She had already had the symptoms of pneumonia. So vaping didn't do a damn thing for her. It didn't kill her. It didn't harm her any more than she was already, she was already sick. But because she was doing that, the vaping killed her. No. No, it didn't. And, the ME report said the same damn thing. So, that one's debunked. Another one was, I think, done by Harvard. And they said that the formaldehyde levels in e-cigarettes are significantly... Here we go, can't talk again. Significantly higher than what you get in cigarettes. No, offered no proof, no evidence. Just take our word for it. It's bad. Okay. Week later, someone else who got, read over the report and requested more information and got it. Looked over the evidence and the facts and said, okay, yes, it is true to a point. You can have higher levels of formaldehyde. But what they left out was how. And how is how you get more higher levels, which are still actually lower than what you get from cigarettes. How you get higher levels is by what's called dry hitting. And that's when you ignite the coil, you light up the coil, and it starts to burn the cotton, getting a dry burn, a dry hit, because there's no juice to vaporize. Now, that's not something that happens very often. And usually within one hit, maybe two, you've already stopped and you're already going, what the hell? The problem is their study kept on doing it over and over and over and over to produce the levels that they felt satisfactory to go ahead and make their report. So, let's take a car and ram it into a wall once. Okay, well, what was the safety rating? 5. No, that can't be true. That can't be true. Take the car and ram it again. Ram it again. Ram it again. Over and over and over until you get the safety level of 2 that you've been wanting. Nope, there we go. This car has a safety level of 2. We ran it into the wall and look at what happened. That car looks like it's been through a grinder. How many times did you run it on the wall? Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's 2. So, when you want to take studies like that and say they're proof, they're evidence, and make landmark decisions on false information like that by people who essentially lied, how can anyone take you seriously? And what's funny is I see these things come out so often. Well, actually not so often, maybe every couple of months. But I do see people repeat these often. And I've actually grown tired of trying to re-educate people. Don't read the headline, read the article, and then question the damn article. Because the fact is that they want to take out vaping. So does Big Tobacco. They wanted to take out vaping. Marlboro knows Views sucks. Blue has dramatically lost market share because there's others out there that are cheaper. people have gone to what I use with the tanks and their own juice, as well as the DIY, and they're losing money. So now they're in the position where they can afford the regulations, they can afford the inspections and whatnot, and others can't. So now they've positioned themselves to where when other companies say, okay, we have to close our doors, then where are people going to turn? Either to their electronic cigarettes, sold to you by Marlboro, or their regular pack of cigarettes, sold to you by Marlboro. Win-win for them, unless you decide to say, screw it, I quit. And many people who have been vaping, like myself, will most likely say, screw it, I quit. It's just unfortunate, you know, something, and I've been doing it on and off for almost 3 years now. And there's been time, and for the most part, of those 3 years, I have not bought very many packs of cigarettes. I'm not saying I haven't, I have, but nowhere near what I would have purchased if I was not vaping, period. So for the longest time, I was doing the OP thing, other people's. And I had my times where I stopped doing that and ended up just buying packs, and then I'd say, screw it, I'm going back to juice. And then right around the 4th of July last year, I said, what the hell am I doing? Screw it, I'm going to this and I'm sticking to it. And I lasted quite a long time, and you know, I don't see myself changing. So I will end up quitting vaping. I'm not going to pay $100 for 120 mil of juice. I'm not going to be stuck with only a handful of choices and then sit here and listen to the FDA saying, we're protecting you, we're saving you. Saving me for what? There was nothing wrong with what I was doing before. There was nothing wrong with what I was using before. Because you guys want to go back to a study that was done in 1999 that found a juice that was made in China to contain 1% of a chemical that you say is not safe because it's used in antifreeze. But then again, it's also used in dental products as well. It's not safe, but we can brush our teeth with it. So, you know, when they're using out-of-date information and saying, well, this is the way it is and nothing's changed, I cry BS. When they're using information that has been achieved, the results have been achieved incorrectly, I cry BS. So, it is what it is. We'll just have to see what happens. Just like, I'm going to go right... Did I stop? Yes, I did. Oh, cool. Might as well get some go-go juice while I'm here, and then go ahead and pull over and get some shut-eye. I need to get my sleep schedule here back on track. It's 8:54 in the morning, and I'm tired of driving at nights. So I need to find a way to get my sleep schedule back on track here so I can drive during the day rather than at night. Alright. Now the way these guys are parked right now, not right. Yep, I'm going in the out. Truck stops here, they don't pull in majority of the time. Sometimes you will see someone pulled in, but majority of the time that is not the case. You will see these guys backed into a parking spot. So, I'll be legit with it, and I'll back into a parking spot. I go. Parked. Shut her down. Get some sleep. And get a much needed vape. Alright. I still have a sleeper, even when I don't. So there we go. All parked, slept, rested. Let's get moving. I always do that. I don't know why. Went to go for 7th gear or 8th gear there, and it hung up in 7th. Nice, plain, barren terrain. Oop, get back in my line. Okay. So now that I bored you guys with all that vape talk, it's just going to be interesting to see how things play out. So far, I have not seen the two companies that I've been buying juice from. I have not seen really any reaction out of them. There is another company that's local in the southwest suburbs, and it's pretty popular with the locals. And they do it out of their house. I think the husband works, and the wife is the one that markets everything, does the shipping, stuff like that. And it's sold in a lot of local stores, and a lot of people love it. It's good stuff. And actually, it isn't all that bad, and the pricing is pretty good, too. But, you know, people were on their Facebook page and, you know, what do you think? What's going to happen? And she's like, you know, everyone just needs to calm down. She says, I'm only at page 49 of 499 or whatever it was. But she said just from the first skimming that I did, it doesn't look good for companies like ours. Of course, because they're not going to be able to have that capital. And even if they, say for example, went and got a loan for it, you know, you're still looking at millions upon millions of dollars because of all the products that you offer. So, I mean, I really do hope I'm wrong with that, but so far, everything I have seen and read and seen people post and whatnot, whether it's in the news articles or in blogs or even on Facebook and Twitter for that matter, they all say the same thing. Per SKU, every item. So every level of nicotine, every blend, you know, 70-30, 80-20, 50-50, all of it has to get green lighted by the FDA. Just doing one flavor isn't going to do it. Every version, which is just mind-blowing to me. I really don't understand that one. But there are some hopeful points here with this. First off, this isn't the first time the FDA has tried to take control of things like this. They did it a few years ago, and it got beaten in the courts. The FDA tried to deem e-cigarettes as drug delivery devices, and it lost in an appeals court. So that attempt at control failed. Wall Street Journal article I read said that it could be years, if not decades, before a lot of these rules are enacted because people are going to fight them. People are going to fight this. Companies, organizations, things like that. They're going to fight this, and they're going to do what they can to get parts of these new rules stricken, if not all of them. And I'm hopeful that it does happen that way. But the White House is on board with it. They gave the FDA marching orders to do it. So, El Paso. But right now, also in the House of Representatives, there is a bill being pushed which would change the start date for all of this. See, right now... Oh, I pulled out too far, huh? Okay. No, get out of gear. There we go. Right now, every product that has been produced and put on the market before 2007, I think it is, or after 2007, must go through the process of the FDA scrutinizing it and okaying it for use. Basically, back then, though, the e-cigarette market was in its infancy at best. So, what this bill will do is move this date from 2007 to basically current times. I think the last date I saw was May 16th of 2016. So, a lot of products will be grandfathered in. As it stands right now, though, the flavors I'm vaping on are not grandfathered in. They have to go through the FDA process of being approved. And the kicker of all this is, if the FDA says, no, we're not going to approve your product, you don't get your money back. So they can spend 2 years investigating your product, testing and whatever, and then turn around and say, yeah, no, we don't like it, you're denied. And that 1.5 or 3.5, doesn't matter how much you spend, is gone. No refunds, no nothing. So it's a gamble, really. You have to be able to prove that your product is not going to cause harm. I mean, the FDA just yanked a couple of cigarettes off the market, new cigarettes that came out, because that rule where you have to show a product that's being released in a market will not cause harm or whatever. Any further harm than what is already on the market or something like that. I forget what it was. But they were able to get four new types of cigarettes yanked because of it. So I fear the same is going to happen here. I also fear that this is going to be a pain in my ass because I have a long truck and a long 53-foot trailer, and I have to park in that spot again over there, just like I did with the heavy haul not so long ago. You know, yeah, I know I got the green line on that one, but I don't like that parking job. That I will take, though. So that's going to do it for me here today, guys. I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the rambling on the vaping, but to me, just like driving, it's an important subject. So, other than that, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the love you guys give the videos, and I look forward to bringing you guys more. So until next time, drive safe.